Welcome to Around the World on 8 Plates. In this series, we're going to visit different countries and introduce these countries to you by providing information regarding itinerary. We're also going to teach you how to cook signature dishes from these countries and interview locals from these countries so that you can have a better understanding of what these countries are all about. So join me, your host Jojo Tan, as we go around the world on 8 Plates. Presented to you by National Taiwan Normal University Common Core Education Committee, Foreign Language Education Division. There are many options for countries that you can visit. Of course, there is some risk involved, so you should assume the worst. Nevertheless, as long as you can tolerate the results of these risks, one of the places you can visit is our country for today's episode. Which country is it? It's time for Punny Monologue. So, we're going to another country today. Which country are we visiting today? I'll give you a clue. So, when I was younger, I really liked to watch Care Bears. Care Bears? Doesn't that sound like the name of a country? Care Bears. Well, if you still can't guess where we are going, I will reveal where we are going in 3, 2, 1. So, let us welcome everyone to Kiribati, not Kiribati, or as the people in Kiribati say, Maori. Kiribati is an archipelago and is made up of one true island, and the remainder of the country is made up of atolls. It's geography time, and time to find out how islands and atolls are physically different. Well, some islands are atolls, but not all atolls are islands. How can this be? Atolls are ring-shaped bodies of land in the water. There's usually a lagoon in the middle, and the land around the lagoon is guaranteed to be an island, a coral reef, or even a group of islands. How is an atoll formed? First, there is an underwater volcano. After many years, the crater of the volcano will go underwater. The remaining part that you see above the water is an atoll. Yes, Kiribati is rich in atolls. However, it is also rich when talking about investment potential and financial assets. So, if you want to invest in stocks and bonds or build an investment portfolio, you will be happy with your reward and return on investment. In what targeted sectors should you invest your assets? First, because Kiribati is a low-lying nation, it is at risk of rising sea water levels because of global warming. Therefore, it's a good idea to buy a climate investment fund. Traveling in Kiribati usually is in the form of planes or boats, so fuel is important. In the last few years, people in Kiribati have been trying to diversify its source of fuel. Before, a lot of fuel used to be imported from other countries. They bought the fuel from other countries. Now they're trying to create biofuel from their own country. Fuel that comes from plants or animals from the island and atolls themselves. For example, many new companies are now trying to use coconut oil as fuel. Second is copra. To produce coconut oil, you need copra, which is the dried meat or the dried white flesh of the coconut. However, the area of Kiribati is getting smaller and smaller. Therefore, building a big copra plant or factory is simply not a good idea. Because of this, companies are slowly finding small copra factories in the form of trucks really valuable. So far, these are some of the reasons why investing in Kiribati is a good idea. What other reasons can you think of? One last thing that is interesting about Kiribati is that it used to be divided by the international dateline. This meant that part of Kiribati used to be at least one day ahead of another part of the same island country. Because of this situation that is confusing, Kiribati moved the international dateline to the far east of the island. And this meant that Kiribati is the first country to welcome every new day. To learn more about the international dateline, here is the history section. In 1522, the first people circumnavigated or sailed around the world for the first time. They realized that there needed to be an international dateline. Then, in 1884, astronomers from 25 countries met in the USA and decided that the Royal Observatory in London would serve as a place for the prime meridian. The international dateline would then be 180 degrees from the prime meridian. In 1910, small changes were made so that all Hawaiian islands could be on the same day. And finally, in 1995, small changes were made so that all places in Kiribati could be on the same day. And that's a short history of the international dateline. To conclude, although Kiribati is a small country, it is the first to welcome tomorrow, and it is one of the best countries where you can have a better tomorrow in the form of climate investment fund. To learn more, read this country profile in the form of a postcard. We've learned all about the country, it's time to start cooking. Today, we are going to cook Kiribati's very own version of mashed potatoes. That's what's cooking today, so let's go to the next part of today's wonderful video. Let's first introduce the list of ingredients for today's dish. First, you'll need 2 sweet potatoes, peeled and chopped into cubes, 2 tablespoons of coconut milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. The ingredients are all very similar to what you need for an ordinary mashed potato, except this time you use sweet potatoes. So you can see the American influence on how people in Kiribati live their lives. Let's go to step 1. In a steamer, steam the sweet potatoes for about 10 minutes. Now, after around 10 minutes, let's go to step 2. You need to add the butter, the coconut milk, and the mayonnaise. And then you put everything in a bowl. Use the back part of a fork to mash all the sweet potatoes. And there you have it, the recipe for today's dish. It's called Batata mash. Now, if you had trouble understanding the recipe, you can go to the next chapter where we will write everything down. For the next part of today's video, you're going to listen to an interview with a local from Kiribati. Who else understands Kiribati better than someone who actually was born there and who lives there? So let's listen to the interview. So now let's welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Levi Betero. He is from Kiribati and he's going to introduce this country to us. You're from Kiribati?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never been there. Is it nice there in Kiribati?
Yeah. Small island.
Small island. And not a lot of people live there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, wow.
I think the 20,000.
20,000.
103,000.
One-
103,000 is the population of Kiribati.
Oh my god.
Mm.
How, and she knows how to use the phone. What,
Yeah.
she learned it from you?
From the mother.
Oh, okay, okay. So your first time in India?
Yes.
Yes. So you must be very tired now.
Yeah. So long trip, huh?
Yeah, super long trip.
Where are we going next? Stay tuned as we once again travel the world, learn about the culture of another country, and go around the world on 8 plates.